What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and infrastructure update for Monday, November 1st. We have a very big month this month because we got a lot of deadlines coming up in the 1st of December. I want to break down what's currently going on regarding the stimulus package, what we're seeing regarding infrastructure, what could potentially be added into this bill. We got good news for this week. Okay, I want to break down that. We also have more reports on the worker shortages, what we're seeing there. And again, I want to break this down because I think this is extremely interesting. And we are going to dive into the issues that the border is going to be facing very soon. So that is what we're going to discuss in today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Also, feel free, okay, if you enjoy these daily uploads, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button, but also feel free to share these with your friends and family over on Facebook as well. But let's get into the update. I'm going to get to the stimulus package and infrastructure update in just a minute. Let's dive into the worker shortages. I want to address this because right now we're seeing shortages all over the place. I went to Wendy's the other day, and they had very few workers actually working. There was a huge line. Right, because we're seeing many shortages, not just in fast food, in retail, everywhere we're seeing shortages. And here's why. Now, after a lot of research, many experts are now saying that they found that the explosion in the stock market and real estate market has caused worker shortages. It's giving Americans a false sense of financial security. And give me your thoughts on this in just a second. With stock evaluations going through the roof, some look at their investment accounts as more of a safety net, as a savings reserve. This is what economists are finding. They feel that many people that have money set aside, whether it's a large amount or a very small amount, they feel that now those previous 2 income households, they're just down to 1. Just 1. They went from 2 to 1. Mainly because right now we're seeing their investment accounts are just so high. They know they have equity in their home and they can sell it because it's still a seller's market. But what they're saying is if we see inflation isn't transitory, so things keep going up in price, if we see Americans' savings drop, which many are already seeing and some are expecting very soon, and if this perfect storm that economists have been calling for, if this actually happens, then according to reports, these people will eventually have to go back to work because their investment accounts are going to drop. Their real estate, their equity that they have there is going to come down. They'll still have equity, they'll still have their savings accounts or their investments, but they will be less than what they are currently at. But economists believe that this could happen in the next couple of years. But in the meantime, when we're seeing 50% increase in business creation, many businesses, and while all these businesses are being formed, what we are seeing is that these entry-level positions are going to remain unfilled. So what we are seeing right now is that lawmakers are looking at these different options, are looking at what is going on right now regarding the worker shortages and supply chain issues. They're looking at this and trying to determine, is there something that they can do to continue or to at least allow our economy to continue growing and rebounding. So again, right now, many lawmakers are looking into the upcoming infrastructure bill, whether it's going to be this one, which I highly doubt, or the next one, most likely in 2022. They're looking at these as a way to provide a little more stimulus or boost into our economy. And when I say stimulus, I'm not talking about it has to be a stimulus check. It can be really any form of stimulus as long as it helps to stimulate the economy back to where it once was. So we'll see what happens there, but there's a lot of reports. Some are contradicting each other. But this is one I thought was very interesting because this is true. I know for a fact there's a couple people that I know personally that are not working because their investments are so high and they don't feel that there's a need to work. They just don't feel there's a need. I completely understand. maybe eventually I will get there as well. But, while there's work, while we can work, while we're able to physically, I think we should. But again, maybe that's just me. But while we're talking about lawmakers, let's get into the infrastructure news and stimulus package update. Right now, there's a lot happening. Over the weekend, we knew that Senator Bernie Sanders, he kept saying that he was on the phone almost the entire weekend working with other lawmakers, trying to get an agreement on the prescription drug pricing provision. What he also said was that he wants to see that all 50 Senate Democrats agree on the framework of the human infrastructure bill before the bipartisan infrastructure bill is ever voted on in the House. Well, that looks like that is going to happen. Senator Bernie Sanders does not agree with where the framework of the bill is at. He wants to add a little bit more. So he's been working all weekend, and it looks like he's going to have a deal on it, or at least a soft agreement as of right now. He admitted that both bills must happen this week, which is good news, that if we see both of these bills happen this week, there's a vote in the House on both of these bills, that will be very good. Now, just to give you an idea, we're already seeing a delay that was supposed to happen today, and I addressed this last night. The House Rules Committee was supposed to meet today to mark up the bill. The issue there is Senator Bernie Sanders, he is holding up a small portion of the bill, and this is that prescription drug pricing provision. He wants to see that the American people can actually afford the prescription they're being written. When your doctor writes you a prescription and you cannot go and take it to the pharmacy because you can't afford it, that's a problem. So, what we know is that Senator Bernie Sanders says he's very close to getting an agreement on the prescription drug pricing provision. So, he's going to hold off on this bill until he gets this added. Well, this isn't the only thing either. We also know that progressives are still trying to get paid family sick leave included into the infrastructure bill as well. These are two big provisions. We also have a third, that's immigration, but at this time, many people aren't really talking about immigration simply because it looks like it's going to be pretty much dead on arrival in the Senate. So because of that one thing, some are saying, well, we might have to just do without it for this bill. And again, I'll get to the border issue in a second, but that's a whole different story. But here's what we are hearing at this time. Senator Joe Manchin, who's been a thorn in Democrat side all along, who is a Democrat, by the way, he's a moderate, but he is opposed to paid family sick leave mainly because he says it's going to potentially cause more fraud. Now let me explain why he's saying this. Right now, what we are hearing is that Senator Joe Manchin says if paid family sick leave, your medical leave, is included, and this isn't the 12 weeks, this isn't 6 weeks, this is for just 4 weeks. What he's saying is that there needs to be more strict work requirements. And let me explain why. If somebody has a job, because in order to get paid sick leave, you have to be working, and then you would get paid, right, to take time off. Here's the issue. If there is no specific requirement as to how long somebody has to work in order to accrue these 4 weeks, well, somebody could just go into, let's say, a Subway, start working, right? And then, oh, my wife is sick. My mother is sick. Somebody is sick, right? I need to go take care of them. And then they get 4 weeks of paid sick leave. He says, no, this is just going to cause more fraud. So this is where some are saying there has to be very strict work requirements. And again, Joe Manchin is all for people working, and he wants to ensure that the people that work get the benefits. So again, this kind of ties into the people that are not working, those 2-income households that went down to 1. Well, does one person get all the benefits, or do they both? Because, well, the family is still working. Again, strict work requirements. We're going to see what happens there, but as of right now, I think this is extremely interesting where these talks are progressing to, because we're starting to see what lawmakers really want. They've been holding out on these ideas. They don't tell us what they want. They don't even tell other lawmakers exactly what they want. And then it's like some like light bulb pops on in their head, like, oh, we should probably include this or that. So we'll see what happens there. And right now, the infrastructure bill is really just one of the fights that lawmakers are dealing with at this time. One thing I can tell you is that the deadlines are coming up. December 3rd is a major day. So important. We still have to secure routine government funding. This is going to be about for, I think, $1.5 trillion. This has to happen before December 3rd, or else we see a government shutdown. Okay? This is different from the debt ceiling, which the government would not have the funds to pay their debts or their current obligations. So we see, and again, both of these are expected to happen on the same day, December 3rd. That's not great. That is not great news. Now, according to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she says we need to find a solution before, at or around December 3rd. What I can tell you is that today, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that Democrats should be open to using the reconciliation bill for the debt ceiling increase. She also says she doesn't want to play chicken with the GOP because they have already signaled that they will not participate anymore in lifting the debt ceiling any higher. Remember, they lifted about $450 billion. Okay? And this is what pretty much got us to December 3rd. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she also says that she would like to abolish the debt limit, but the White House has been extremely quiet on this. And we're not going to get a report from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki because, well, she has COVID. So, not the best news there, not the greatest timing, but that is what it is. What I can tell you right now, when it comes to the debt ceiling, Senator Mitch McConnell, he's already said he's not going to help out Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer anymore, especially after the remarks he made after Republicans did bail out Democrats last time. So we will see, but what I can tell you is this month is going to be big because, again, we have the bipartisan infrastructure bill for $1.2 trillion. We have the human infrastructure bill for $1.75 as of right now. We got a government funding bill for $1.5 trillion. That's the third thing. We also have the debt ceiling increase. That has to happen. All four of these things need to happen. Two of the infrastructure bills need to happen because if not, Democrats are going to potentially lose the House and the Senate. That's what we're hearing. If they don't happen, we're also going to see roads and bridges are just going to continue to deteriorate. We also know the climate change, $550 billion for climate change, is in the bill. And if this doesn't happen, President Biden's going to look pretty foolish coming back from a climate summit and getting absolutely nothing done. And then obviously we got the government funding bill. We have to keep people working, right? We'll have a lot of issues there. And then we got the debt ceiling increase, which if that doesn't happen, Janet Yellen says we could be in for a major recession. That would be bigger than what we saw in 2008. So I promise I will bring you all the updates as we get them. One thing I can tell you, I'm not just going to bring you the good news. Okay? I'm going to bring you the good news. I will also bring you the bad news, and you can do with it as you wish. But I promise you, I will bring you the news. Now, let's talk about the border. What we know is a migrant caravan that's been traveling from Central America is now in the southern part of Mexico. Many immigrants that were, when they showed up in Mexico were actually offered visas. Okay, it was like a humanitarian visa, which allowed them to stay in Mexico legally. But reports indicate that the majority of people turn these down in hopes of making it into the United States. The reports also indicate that some of these people believed that this was just a trap. That this was a trap from the Mexican government to get people to say, okay, yes, I take a humanitarian visa. They would be put on a bus and transported to different parts of Mexico. However, the expectation, according to some, was they were just going to be stuck on a bus and sent back right to where they came from. So they didn't want to do that. We also know border officials say they are well aware of the caravan that is coming. They are in talks with Mexican officials, but they do not know if they're going to see any additional help at the border at this time. Governor from Texas, Greg Abbott, has said he has requested the National Guard for assistance. However, he does not know if this is going to happen or not. But according to many officials, they say we have to secure our borders. And let me ask you this. Do you feel like the Biden administration is doing a good job securing our borders? Or do you think they could do just a little bit more? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, in vaccine news, we also heard today that the FDA has halted the approval of Moderna's COVID vaccine for 12 to 17-year-olds. Yes, the only vaccine that you can actually get right now, or you can't actually get Moderna, you can get Pfizer and I believe Johnson & Johnson. The FDA has said that they need more time to look into this because there are reports of myocarditis in teens. Okay, this is the inflammation of the heart. Moderna says that the safety of their vaccine is of paramount importance to them, and they are working closely with the FDA to ensure that the safety of their vaccine, or for the safety of their vaccine for kids as well and adolescents. Some officials believe that the emergency use authorization for Moderna's youth vaccine will not be ready until possibly January or a little bit later. So, as of right now, Moderna is pretty much put on hold as far as their adolescent vaccine, but they do still have the one for adults, 18 years of age and older. So, that is what we know as of right now. My expectation is, regarding infrastructure and stimulus, we are going to see more reports on that today and this week, mainly because it has been stated by multiple lawmakers. Many Democrat officials right now are saying that we are going to have a vote this week. We are potentially going to see it tomorrow. It's not going to happen tomorrow because the House Rules Committee has to meet first, mark up the bill before it actually goes to the floor. So my expectation is maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Most likely Thursday would be the time that we have a vote. So as we have once we get a date, I promise I will fill you in on that. I will keep you updated on what we're hearing, what's going on regarding the stimulus package, what there is in this bill for the American people, and hopefully there's going to be a little bit more. But again, as I know more, I promise I will share more. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Have an incredible week this week as well. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.